weight and dragged on the floor. A muttered stream of British swear words floated into my room as he jiggled the padlock on his door. Then there was a loud sigh, the lock opened with a click and his light came on. The mosquito netting cast a patterned shadow on my ceiling. Frowning, I looked at my watch. It was 2 a.m, early evening UK time. I wondered if I might get back to sleep. The man slumped onto his bed, making the wall between us shake alarmingly. He coughed for a while, then I heard the rustle of a joint being rolled. Soon there was blue smoke caught in the light, rolling through the netting. Aside from the occasional deep exhalation, he was silent. I drifted back to sleep, almost. "Bitch," said a voice. I opened my eyes. "Fuckhead, bitch. We're both as good as..." The voice paused for a coughing fit. "Dead?" I was wide awake now, so I sat up in bed. "Cancer in the corals, blue water, my bitch. Fucking Christ. Did me in," the man continued. He had an accent, but at first my sleep-fogged head couldn't place it. "Bitch," he said again, spitting out the word. A Scottish accent. Beach. There was a scrabbling sound on the wall. For a moment I thought he might be trying to push it over, and I had a vision of myself being sandwiched between the formica board and the bed. Then his head appeared through the mosquito netting, silhouetted facing me. "Eh?" he said. I didn't move. I was sure he couldn't see into my room. "Hey, I know you're listening. In there. I know you're awake." He lifted up a finger and gave the netting an exploratory poke. It popped away from where it was stapled to the formica. His hand stuck through. "Here." A glowing red object sailed through the darkness, landing on the bed in a little shower of sparks. The joint he'd been smoking. I grabbed it to stop it burning the sheets. "Yeah," said the man, and laughed quietly. "Got you now. I saw you take the butt." For a few seconds, I couldn't get a handle on the situation. I kept thinking, what if I actually had been asleep? The sheets might have caught fire. I might have burned to death. The panic flipped into anger, but I suppressed it. The man was way too much of a random element for me to lose my temper. I could still only see his head, and that was backlit in shadow. Holding up the joint, I asked, "Do you want this back?" "You were listening," he replied, ignoring me. "Heard me talking about the beach." "You've got a loud voice." "Tell me what you heard." "I didn't hear anything." "Heard nothing." He paused for a moment, then pressed his face into the netting. "You're lying." "No, I was asleep. You just woke me up when you threw this joint at me." "You were listening," he hissed. "I don't care if you don't believe me." "I don't believe you." "Well, I don't care. Look." I stood on the bed so our heads were at the same level and held up the joint to the hole he'd made. "If you want this, take it. All I want is to go to sleep." As I lifted my hand, he pulled back, moving out of the shadow. His face was flat like a boxer's, the nose busted too many times to have any form, and his lower jaw was too large for the top half of his skull. It would have been threatening if not for the body it was attached to. The jaw tapered into a neck so thin it seemed incredible that it supported his head, and his t-shirt hung slackly on coat-hanger shoulders. Past him I saw into his room. There was a window, as I'd assumed, but he'd taped it up with pages from a newspaper. Apart from that, it was bare. His hand reached through the gap and plucked the butt from my fingers. "Okay," I said, thinking I gained some kind of control. "Now leave me alone." "No," he replied flatly. "No? No? Why not? What do you want something?" "Yep," he grinned. "And that's why..." Again he pushed his face into the netting. "I won't leave you alone." But as soon as he said it, he seemed to change his mind. He ducked out of sight, obscured by the angle of the wall. I stayed standing for a couple of seconds, confused but wanting to reinforce my authority. Like it wasn't me stepping down, just him. Then I heard him relight his joint. I let that mark the end of it and lay back down on the bed. Even after he'd switched his light off 20 or so minutes later, I still couldn't get back to sleep. I was too keyed up, too much stuff was running through my head. Beaches and bitches. I was exhausted, jumpy with adrenaline. Perhaps given an hour of silence I might have relaxed, but soon after the man's light went out, the French couple came back to their room and started having sex. It was impossible, hearing their panting and feeling the vibrations of their shifting bed, not to visualize them. The brief glimpse of the girl's face I'd caught in the corridor was stuck in my head. An exquisite face, dark skin and dark hair, brown eyes.